All right. Well, in today's gospel, Jesus fields the million-dollar question, right? Lord, will only a few people be saved? It's a question where we may wish Jesus had given an easier answer, right? We wish maybe Jesus said, enter through the wide gate, for many will easily enter it. Just be a good person and you're good, you're fine. But that's not what Jesus said, all right? Jesus said, strive to enter through the narrow gate, for many, I tell you, will attempt to enter, but will not be strong enough. And then Jesus proceeds to tell a parable to illustrate more precisely what he means. A parable about a master of the house who had arisen and locked the door. And that master of the house is, of course, symbolic of Jesus, who has the power not only to throw open the gates of heaven, which he did at the resurrection, but also has the power to lock them, which is on the day of judgment. So Jesus continues the parable saying, then you will stand outside knocking and saying, Lord, open the door to us, for us. Now notice the nature of his response. He says, I do not know where you are from. And you will say, we ate and drank in your company, you taught on our streets. So the Jew who asked Jesus may think, what do you mean you don't know where I'm from? I'm part of your chosen people, Israel. Of course you know who I am and where I'm from. And so like that Jew, we too may be puzzled by that response, right? This is good, particularly for us Catholics to hear, because the cultural Catholic may be tempted to think likewise. What do you mean you don't know where I'm from? I was baptized at St. John. I went to Lumen Christi. Of course you know us. We ate and drank at the fall festival. Right? And I went to Mass at Christmas and Easter. I may not go every Sunday, but I'm a pretty good person. Right? I may not be a saint, but compared to Jeffrey Epstein, I'm pretty good. Right? But does Jesus' response here mention anything about simply being a good person? No. He says, I do not know where you are from. So notice Jesus is speaking less in moral terms, but more in relational terms. It's about knowing him and him knowing us and where we are from. In other words, Jesus is asking, what do you call home? Who do you consider your family? Who are your peeps? If you've identified yourself with me and with God's family on earth, I'd recognize you. If you've answered my invitation to follow me, and if my heavenly home was truly your heart's desire, I'd recognize you.